But on behalf of all the members of the SCBA, one thing I would really like to say, that he's been an affable, a person who guides you like a friend of all young lawyers. And sir, I must say that when you are a successful lawyer, it's good if you're helped. But when you are a young lawyer, when you are actually looking for help, for guidance, and when you are supported at that time, those are the memories that never fade. And for Justice Vikramjit Sen, for sure, I think it squarely applies that he has helped so many young lawyers get confidence and then become better lawyers. And I wish to thank you on behalf of the bar for that. And sir, I would also like to say that the association with the SCBA will forever continue, because he mentioned to me that the first bar association that he took before any other bar was the SCBA, and we are proud of it. And now I request Justice Vikramjit Sen to give his speech and address us. Thank you, sir.
Listening to all that was said today, I asked Mr. Narasimha, who are they talking about? I don't know. Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Thakur, my honorable companion justices of the Supreme Court of India, Mr. Siddharth Mridul, Judge of the High Court of Delhi, Mr. Dushant Dave, President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, Mr. A.K. Sinha, Vice President, Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, Honorary Secretary, and members of the Executive Committee of the Supreme Court Bar Association, President and members of the Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association, Mr. Narasimha, Additional Solicitor General, esteemed senior advocates and distinguished members of the Bar, Secretary General and Registrars of the Supreme Court of India, and members of the Registry of the Supreme Court. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. I'm truly honored that so many of you have been willing to endure this cold December evening to bid me farewell. I consider myself extremely fortunate to have been elevated, firstly as a judge of the High Court of Delhi, and thereafter as the Chief Justice of the High Court of Karnataka. I say that I am fortunate for the reason that there are several advocates from the bar who were equally competent lawyers but were denied the experience that I have been enabled to enjoy. When I took oath as a judge of the Delhi High Court, neither I nor my family expected that I would be posted as a Chief Justice of a state. But that happened. Elevation to the Supreme Court of India was something of a dream, but that, I was lucky, was fulfilled. Having been bestowed with the honor of being appointed as a High Court judge, and keeping in mind that a judge is discharging duties as a deputy of the divine, I seized the opportunity with both hands, knowing that a heavy burden had been cast on me. I resolved to work with honesty and diligence, humility and patience. Most of all, my endeavor was to keep in perspective that it is the poor and the disadvantaged who approach the court with trepidation, at extreme financial expense and great personal discomfort, only when all other doors are closed to them. Bearing the expenditure of litigation for the middle class and for the poor means an almost unreplenishable drain on their savings. I tried to give them preeminence. So far as the rich and powerful are concerned, litigation for them is often used as a tool to achieve more than what they deserve. In discharging my duties as a judge, I have been ever mindful of the oath that I have taken, namely, complete surrender to the Constitution of India. My duty to uphold the sovereignty and integrity of our great country, and to duly and faithfully, and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment, perform the duties of this sacred office. These duties must be performed without fear of any possible adverse consequences or of criticism that any of the decisions may cause. The judicial function must be carried out without affection towards any party or any council. Equally important is that there should likewise be no ill will or bias against anyone. Only then can a judge uphold the Constitution and the laws and be true to the oath that he has taken. I hope I have succeeded, at least in some small measure. All these events which have happened to me and my family, as happens to each and every one of us, is because we are mere pawns of destiny. As a child, I recall my fascination for going under bridges. There were not many in Delhi, but I can remember two, Minto Bridge and Harding Bridge. On one of these occasions, after going through a bridge which is on our right, enjoying the descent and then the ascent, I passed a building. I must have been about less than 10 years. I passed a building, and while my father was driving, I asked him, "What is that building?" And he said, "That's the Supreme Court of India." And I said, "I would like to work there." I have been lucky that that ambition, which I had without knowing anything, without knowing what it entails, has come true. I can only share my good fortune with you, knowing that there are several who are equally deserving. Today, the success of an advocate is assessed primarily from the amount of money he earns. The manner in which he does so is often ignored. The issues that he espouses or fails to support in his own way are lost sight of. Ethics and principles should not become relics of the past. Women and child issues, improving the lot of the poor must receive highest priority. This profession must live up to what it has always been called, the noble profession. My heartfelt thanks go out to my family, my wife Malti, my daughter Manvi, and her husband Rohit Sarkar, my second daughter Shunali, and her husband Hemant Mandal, who are in Hanoi, my youngest daughter Mrinalini Sen Gupta, and her husband Satyajit Gupta, both of whom are lawyers. My thanks to my private secretaries and to the staff of my home office and my court masters and all the court staff assigned to me. My grateful thanks and acknowledgement goes out to my law researchers, past and present, but for whom the duties of the Supreme Court judge would be unbearably burdensome. I thank them for ensuring, most of all, that the work that was done in my chambers was without blemish and did not compromise any principles. Mr. Dave, Mr. Sinha, Mr. Narasimha, and Mr. Bhatia have spoken very kind words for me, which I gladly believe, even though they are not true in entirety. What do I say about the Chief Justice? It is so difficult to address a gathering after him. I was hoping that there would be a difference in the order and that I would be able to give up the mic for him, knowing that you are very interested in hearing what he has to say. Except I think he has been remiss today in not matching Mr. Gaurav Bhatia in reciting some Urdu couplets. The job and duties of a judge are indeed onerous. It is actually a whole-time job that jealously brooks no other claimants. I will no doubt suffer withdrawal symptoms this evening or tomorrow when I enter my home office and find that there are no files to read or digest for the next day. I look forward now to enjoying my tennis also, and of course my golf. Dushyant has managed a better handicap than mine, and I will work assiduously to narrow that gap. I will have time for reading, literary work, or just a novel, or just to laze around doing nothing and try to keep an empty mind, which is not very difficult for me. Most of all, I can devote my time to my 5 grandchildren and to my Saint Bernard dog. I thank every one of you who is present here to take time off today and to bid me farewell. I have enjoyed, God has been kind to give me so much, bless me with whatever He has given me. I go with no regrets, and I wish the very best to you. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. And now I request Mr. Dushyant Dave, President of SCBA, to present a memento on behalf of the bar to Hon'ble Mr. Justice Vikramjit Sen. I also request the Vice President, the Joint Secretary, and the other office bearers of SCBA to kindly join the President.